Hi, I'm Brenton Goodman, and this is You Decide. Today, I want to talk about a controversial executive order that President Trump issued on August 25th of 2025. This order focuses on the prosecution of individuals who burn the American flag. Now, the stated purpose of the order is to prevent an act that the president calls is uniquely offensive, which is a destruction of a sacred symbol of the United States, the flag. Now, in this framing, the flag represents the preservation of rights, liberty, and security. The executive order specifically directs the Attorney General to prioritize the use of any criminal or civil laws that can apply to flag burning, but with an important caveat. Enforcement must rely on statutes that are content neutral and must not violate the First Amendment's protection of freedom of expression. Now, this is not the first time the United States has debated the legality of flag burning. In fact, the Supreme Court has already spoken on this issue in 1989 in a case called Texas versus Johnson. In that case, the court looked into an instance where Gregory Lee Johnson, a political activist, burned an American flag during the Republican National Convention in Dallas to protest the policies of the Reagan administration. He was arrested under a Texas law that prohibited desecration of respected objects. Now, the Supreme Court decided that Texas's law was unlawful because his actions were symbolic speech. The court stressed that it is a foundation of our society that the government cannot prohibit expression of ideas even if society finds the ideas to be offensive or disagreeable. Now, in fact, in another case, McIntyre versus Ohio Elections Commission, the court emphasizes that political speech is a type of speech that is entitled to the greatest level of protection. So supporters of President Trump say that his order acknowledges this law and just encourages prosecutorial discretion in pursuing cases that happen to involve the flag, but are not based on the idea being expressed. For example, if someone burns a flag in a way that incites violence, provokes a riot, enacts a hate crime, or involves disorderly conduct, prosecutors could pursue charges under those independent and content-neutral statutes. For instance, it is constitutional for you to be arrested for setting fire to a flag on federal land where there is a ban from starting fires. That arrest is not because of the message you were intending to send by burning the flag, but merely because you violated the law that prohibits the burning of anything on federal land. Now, from this perspective, the order is less about criminalizing protest itself and more about ensuring that prosecutors treat flag burning incidents as higher priority when they overlap with genuine unlawful conduct. Supporters argue this strikes a balance between respecting the First Amendment and maintaining public order and proper respect for the greatest symbol of our unity and ideals. Now, opponents, they see the order very differently. They argue that the true purpose of the directive is to suppress protest and chill free speech, regardless of the legal disclaimers built into the text and appeals to our nationalism. Critics say that by singling out flag burning as a priority, the order sends a message that the government disapproves of this form of expression, which is exactly what the Supreme Court said was impermissible in Texas versus Johnson. They also say this order is a narrowly disguised call to break the law. Take the example of burning a flag on federal land. If police only arrest the person burning the flag on the land, but not the person burning wood on the land, or burning trash on the land, or burning food on the land, they are actually engaging in content-based regulation, making their actions illegal. They also add that if the administration truly cared about the flag, Trump would direct his organization to stop selling things like American flag hats and flag rock glasses and flag knit sweaters that violate Title IV of the United States Code, which strongly discourages putting the flag on merchandise because doing so devalues the flag. Now, the Trump administration would argue that his organization is a separate entity than his administration and that the use of the flag is far from devaluing the flag. It instead is honoring the flag in an appropriate manner that is completely consistent with the First Amendment. So, is Trump's executive order legal? You decide. Thanks for listening today, and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below.